Taking apart the unquestionable data, the coin has given various merchants a fair return during the foreordained time frame last year. It gave basic returns, and the Kava current expense guesses for the future are also bullish. Kava value forecast 2022 Kava cost check shows that the Kava cost could show up at a biggest worth of 10 in 2022. And a worth modification can be expected in the year wrapping up considering Kava cost figure 2022. The typical expense level at which it is traded is 913 in 2022. Kava value expectation 2023. The Kava cost measure for 2023 is 10 to 12 for the year. As per our Kava cost figure, the most outrageous expense is supposed to be around 1281 regardless, as indicated by the excessively long Kava cost assumption. It could go up against a snag at the above communicated cost level, and the coin could trade sideways the ordinary expense level. For the year should be 1128 Kava value forecast 2024. The computerized currency market is expecting a bullish power in 2024. And crypto fans are expecting electronic coins will get gigantic public affirmation and reputation later on. Kava esteem assumptions are confident, and the expense could open at the 12 level. It is ordinary to make an immaculate high of 1486 persistently, which is only on various occasions. The continuous expense, the expense estimate, suggests that the average worth may be 1367 Kava value gauge 2025. The Kava check for 2025 shows that the best expense of Kava will contact the 1741 mark in 2025. Considering the previous Kava cost assumptions, the coin is extending its worth reliably, therefore long stretch computations guess that it will trade an extent of 14 to 17, with a common expense of 1612. There is incredible obtaining potential between as per our worth assumption, and it shows that placing assets into the coin for 2025 is brilliant. Kava value expectation 2026 Kava cost assumption shows that the coin will trade the extent of 17 to 21 in 2026. If the bullish example continues, the coin will show up at a generally outrageous expense of 21,987 before the year is finished. As indicated by the evaluations, the coin's base and typical expense might be around 1892 and 19,060. Kava is an insightful endeavor in light of its extraordinary components and effortlessness of getting to money-related organizations. Kava turns out to be a shrewd endeavor decision for what's to come. The Kava cost measure is perfect, and being a useful hypothesis for the long stretch as ordinary establishments and subject matter experts which offer money-related direction on Kava are bullish for its turn of events, thus proceeding placing assets into the coin. Known investigation and proper endeavor counsel are central. Will Kava go up? Kava is adding regard reliably and continues to convey insurers staying aware of the standard and trust of the clients. It has a flexible improvement history after ship-off, and this infers that it will have a particularly mind-blowing future if the trip continues anyway. The assessment is for information purposes like each other crypto. It is furthermore eccentric and anticipating future worth considering past execution. Doesn't be guaranteed to give 100 accurate future results. Where to buy Kava coins? Kava is enlisted with all the major crypto exchanges like Binance, Kraken, Huobi, Worldwide, Upbit and Sexio. What is Kava cost figure 2030? As indicated by our Kava figures, the best worth is supposed to be 3003, with a common worth of 2723. All the while the base expense for 2030 is expected. Sits more than 1,460,000,000. Kava is a nearby token on the Kava stage, but hard is in like manner. A neighborhood asset. Kava is the particular representative that will be peddled in this article. Kava value forecast 2021. Underneath we explore Kava and review a couple of nuances and assumptions to measure a reasonable expense for 2021. 2. Concerning the looming years, it should be seen that while esteem assumptions rely upon data and as often as possible are examined by man-made insight, they should never be taken as financial urging or be used as areas of strength for an endeavor. And neither should this article. It is for each situation emphatically recommended clients do their own assessment into the endeavors whose tokens they wish to place assets into. The whole crypto world is on an edge of an evident bear market, Bitcoin has hung half from its unparalleled high amidst the greater market drops impacted by fuming extension and to care of rate increases. Monetary sponsor are selling perilous assets and moving into extra consistent business areas. Crypto is at this point seen as an incredibly perilous play, and thus the Salar algo still sees some green in 2022. Especially in the second piece of the year. This is reflected in our 2022 conjectures right now. Bitcoin needs to find a close buy base before we can move the alternate way and change the direction. At the point when Bitcoin settles in the new expense range, altcoins will start to do similarly. We have seen this present circumstance commonly in the isolated and later history. Our expense assumption model is negative for the accompanying 90 days, with a sprinkle of a decidedly moving business sector. At the redirect of the quarters from Q1 to Q2, we expect whales and other more noteworthy players in the market to fold up, filling their sacks over that time, which will cause an ordinary and startling crypto spike. Captain Altcoin Bunch made an expense assumption model with a different method for managing crypto that thinks about both specific examination and significant assessment of each endeavor. Fundamentals that we evaluate are bunch tokenomics, use case neighborhood attempts, liquidity and exchange openness, exposure and speculative potential, and a couple of other prohibitive factors made in our crypto lab. Unquestionably, the stock sits at 141,314,447, with no greatest stock set. Of that, 81,443,180 tokens are accessible for use. In addition, its extension rate is still hanging out there. A couple of supplemental data. Its continuous business area cap is 474,338,335 or 820,762,086 working out in full scale supply. It is down 28 from its unmatched high. As of making market cap at this point positions it at 119 on its establishment. Likewise, Masari at present positions at 6. For crediting, it is very huge that the greatest load of Kava has not been set, suggesting that speculatively more tokens can be printed from this point forward. Right when new tokens are created, they can cause development, the degree of which depends on how the cycle is organized and implemented. Kava was assisted with laying out by President Brian Ruarid O'Donnell and Scott Stewart Bryan's Tutoring Lies in Business Association, and has as of late worked as an aide for a couple blockchain and crypto projects. Ruarid is an MSc Material Science graduate and has knowledge as an originator and data specialist at last. Scott is a past master poker player and is correct now working as a thing chief at Kava Labs, the parent association behind Kava6. The rest of the gathering is, according to the association, contained people from various establishments and capacities, joined with the excitement for building new and open financial structure, with the assumption that their undertakings make certifiable and persevering through change in the WORLD7. Their essential Twitter. Kava Labs has in